Hi everyone, it's Emma here, and today I'm answering the question, how can I treat a UTI at home? So this is becoming a more commonly asked question for us here at the AVOGO helpline, and I think with everything going on in the world in terms of how busy and stretched doctor surgeries are, and even going out to the pharmacy can be a bit daunting if it's not so necessary. People are trying not to rely on medications quite so much. Specifically antibiotics, the threat of antibiotic resistance is still upon us. So there's many reasons where if there is something that we can treat from home, such as a mild UTI, then people are quite keen to do that. Of course, there are still those red flag symptoms that we need to be really cautious of and be responsible to look out for and go to our doctors if need be. So that would include back pain, any blood in your urine, any extreme or persistent pain, which isn't just specific for UTIs, that's across the board. So any of those symptoms, of course, it would be necessary to go to your doctor. But otherwise, there are ways you could potentially treat UTIs from home, which I am going to run through. So the first way you can potentially do this is by drinking enough water. So water, preferably plain still water, is one of the best ways that you can implement fast to try and flush out your urinary tract. And by keeping your urinary tract flushing through and by keeping your urine nice and dilute, you can hopefully help to prevent the bacteria from sticking, flushing it out, and keeping everything moving along. Stagnant or quite concentrated urine is a bit more of a favourable breeding ground for these bacteria. So water is one of the best ways that you can do this. As a nutritionist, I'm always trying to encourage people to drink more water. And this can have some barriers. People don't like the taste, or they just find that they can't drink enough. Or that they suspect that other drinks count towards their water intake. And I'm always telling them that plain still water is the way to go, and especially with UTIs, there's lots of research around different sugars and sweeteners and things not being so suitable, which I will go on to in my next point. But just some tips from me. I tend to try and get a big large bottle. You can get the one with the specific tracking down it. So this bottle for me is 800 ml. So I know I want to drink at least 2 of these a day, potentially if not more if someone had an active infection. So trying to track your intake, adding perhaps a straw, ice, or warming it up. You can have cooled boiled water if you prefer to sip out a mug. Fruit, herbs, there's so many tips that hopefully you can employ to just try and encourage yourself and remind yourself to drink a little bit more water. And trying to not drink too much with your meals, trying to separate this from your meals, and that helps protect your digestion, which we know has links with urinary tract health. So that's my first point on water, but it leads nicely into my second point, is to watch your different juices. So people are quite often tempted to try and incorporate lots of juice, as they feel this is the only way that they're going to get liquids in. And as much as possible, I want to stress how important that minimal intake of water is. So any extras need to be out with that 1.5 to 2 litres of water a day to really get the benefits from it. When it comes to UTIs, there's lots of research to suggest that sugars, refined sugars, also artificial sweeteners, can be quite irritating and quite disruptive to your urinary tract, your blood sugar levels, all areas relating to your urinary tract overall. So I would really just try and stick to your plain still water and flavour it with your fruit or your herbs or anything fresh if you're keen to do that. One of the exceptions when it comes to juice for managing UTIs is your cranberry juice. But even still, we wouldn't say to scrimp on the water at all. You still want that minimum water intake. So with a good quality cranberry juice, something like the Biota Wild Mountain Cranberry, these are hand picked wild cranberries, really, really good quality, and no added refined sugars in there, just some natural and not artificial sweeteners or anything. They're just some birch and agave syrup in there, really natural ingredients. So, but even with something good quality like that, which can be helpful, there is research to suggest the cranberry component can help to prevent the bacteria from sticking. We would still only want about 100 ml a day. So that would be a lovely one to incorporate into your daily regime. But again, not in huge amounts, definitely not compromising on your water. Another option with cranberry is to get cranberry tablets if you're keen to get that cranberry component in but are just being cautious about your different juices. And the cranberry tablets can be a nice way to get a higher amount of those cranberry ingredients in there, because cranberry is quite a tart ingredient. So usually with the juices, even when they're the best quality, there will usually be some sort of sweetness added there. So the tablets are one way to get around this. Next point, I have up your vitamin C content. There's lots of positive research around the benefits of vitamin C and urinary tract health. Vitamin C is an antioxidant, it's very protective, it's very healing, so it will really help to protect and heal the cells of your urinary tract. Vitamin C can be found in copious amounts in your lovely fresh fruit and vegetable options, particularly your citrus fruits, which you can eat, add some slices to your water, that's definitely allowed. And then we have supplements if you're keen to up your dose even higher, especially if you've had recent infections. So this is the Nature C for kids. We also have the adult version, same ingredient, coming from fresh whole foods, the acerola cherry for one of the highest natural sources of vitamin C. So it's just a good way to up your levels, as well as trying to incorporate those fresh ingredients into your diet, of course. Number 4, I have support your gut bacteria. So this is a really nice tip, and I think a lot of these tips you can employ from home, not just at the time of infection, but actually longer term to help support your urinary tract as well. So we know that our gut bacteria has direct links with our urinary tract health. So by supporting your gut and your gut bacteria, that will have a direct impact. One of the best ways to do this from home is to ensure you incorporate a wide variety of vegetables and fresh ingredients into your diet. So really trying to get new ingredients into your diet daily, every week, trying to get new fresh ingredients, lovely vegetables, fruits, whole grains, your quinoa, your millet, oats, all these sources of complex carbs are also going to feed your gut bacteria. So just trying to mix it up and get a wide diversity in your diet, which will reflect into a greater diversity of gut bacteria. Then to support this process further, you can introduce something like a prebiotic such as your Mulkazan. And this is rich in L+ lactic acid, which is the ingredient that your good bacteria produce themselves, which then further supports them to thrive and flourish in the gut. So something like your Mulkazan just helps to add in that acidity, which your large intestine responds very well to, and the bacteria that live there. Number 5, we're trying to stick to home remedies, but this is a remedy that you can order online, you can get in health food stores, you wouldn't need to go to a pharmacy necessarily for this, and that is your uva ursi and echinacea. So this is a complex from us at Evogo, combining your uva ursi and your echinacea, 2 key herbal ingredients which can help to relieve minor urinary complaints associated with cystitis or UTIs. So this is definitely one to introduce at the first sign of infection. So you would only really take this during an infection, whereas the cranberry and the Mulkazan and things can be more protective long term. But you would only really need the uva ursi if you have a current infection, and you can take up to 5 times daily. If symptoms don't improve after 7 days, we would say to stop taking it simply because it may not be working, there may be something going on, and that would be time to go back to your doctor just to investigate this further. Then last point is just some helpful practices you can put in at home. Again, obviously at the time of infection, but actually day to day, these are useful practices to put into place anyway, just to protect your urinary tract health. So that would be like going to the toilet after sex, going for the toilet after sex, and also wiping front to back just routinely as well. All these practices help to just ensure that bacteria isn't getting near the urethra. We're not giving that bacteria the chance to navigate there and do us any harm. So just trying to keep that urinary tract free and flushing through. So hopefully that's been a help to y'all. As always, please do leave comments and questions below. Please do also subscribe to our Evogo YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of any future videos. Thanks, take care and speak soon.